What's good, YouTube? It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Boston community. Shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. This is my post-fight reaction to David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. First of all, even though leading up to the fight, I said it wasn't a pay-per-view worthy, pay-per-view caliber fight. It was a good, decent scrap. And I thought it was a, decent fight. Better than anything I've seen in the sport of boxing lately. In terms of the fight itself, leading up to the fight, I thought it was a 50-50 fight going into it. I picked Caleb Plant to win because I thought, he was the better athlete. In addition to him being a better athlete, I thought he just was a better boxer. The issues that I thought Caleb Plant had, first and foremost, was his, cardiorespiratory endurance, his stamina, his endurance. I knew that would play a big role in the fight. In the first half of the fight, I thought he boxed beautifully. I thought he had a solid strategy and game plan. He did well the first half of the fight. But just like I said, in terms of David Benavidez's strengths, he's relentless, he's aggressive. And that came into play also. So the way I scored the fight basically was, I scored it as a draw. The first 6 rounds for Caleb Plant. The last 6 rounds for David Benavidez. I can see how, you would score a fight maybe 115, 113. But in my mind and in my estimation, there's no way that should have been a unanimous decision. It should have been a split decision. Fine. Unanimous decision, no way. Some of those scorecards were, I felt like anything more than 115, 113 in David Benavidez's favor was ridiculous. So I scored it a draw. I scored it 114, 114. But that's me personally. And one of the things that, I say leading up to the fight was the fact that Caleb Plant was a better athlete. He was a better boxer. But one thing I really didn't take into account is the fact that he didn't have enough power to really keep David Benavidez off of him the second half of the fight, considering that, he has cardiovascular issues in terms of his endurance and his stamina. So that really played a major role and a major factor into the fight. I felt like in terms of, I said that David Benavidez should go to the body because we know that Caleb Plant has stamina issues. I felt like he did that early in the fight. But I think Caleb Plant, even though he did good the first half of the fight, I think he should have also, even in the second half of the fight and in the first half of the fight, he has a better jab in my estimation. I think he should have did a better job, changing levels and going to the body, with a jab to the midsection to set up shots to the head, because he does a good job changing levels at times. To me, he didn't do that as much. And I felt, especially in the second half of the fight, the way David Benavidez just was coming on, I felt like he should have really done that more. So overall, it was a good solid fight. The major things that kind of stuck out to me is, first of all, like a lot of the fans, like in some of the live chats I was in after the fight, basically it made it seem like Caleb Plant was like, some type of bum or something. I mean, he fought a good fight. He just ran out of gas. So, I mean, that's one thing I don't like. The front runner society that we live in now. Everybody wants to be a winner. Everybody wants to be associated with a winner. It's no loyalty. You only have fair weather fans in most instances. That's one thing that struck me as odd. Another thing, Kenny Bayless is a referee, is an official. He just needs to hang it up because it was so obvious that he was so biased towards Caleb Plant. And on the flip side of that, the announce team, they were so biased and so in favor of David Benavidez. It was ridiculous. So those two things just kind of, to a certain degree, kind of took away from me enjoying the fight as much as I should have. You know, Showtime annunciating, you know, team broadcasting, it was just, And Kenny Bayless, you know, he seemed like he bailed out Caleb Plant often, but overall, I felt it was a good fight. Now, coming out of this fight, the $1 million question for me is Saul Canelo Alvarez, is he going to fight David Benavidez? You know, because one thing that Canelo made obvious in the past that he said, and he's been transparent about it, that he's not going to fight any Mexican fighters. So let's see if he sticks to that, or if fans pressure him enough to actually fight David Benavidez, because to me, that would be a good fight. Me, truthfully, I really believe that I would lean toward and favor Canelo in that particular fight, but I think David Benavidez will pose problems for Canelo that Caleb Plant wasn't able to pose for him. But I think the major difference between Canelo and Caleb Plant in regards to going against David Benavidez is Canelo has power that Caleb Plant doesn't. I think Caleb Plant is a superior boxer to the two of them, I'm sorry. He's a superior boxer to David Benavidez and the Canelo, but Canelo has power that Caleb Plant doesn't. So I think that's going to pose a different type of challenge to David Benavidez. But even with that being said, I don't think Canelo is going to fight David Benavidez. I hope I'm wrong, but based on his track record, you know, he likes to pick and choose who he's going to fight. He's a cherry picker. So who knows? He might try to fight a rematch with Bivol. I mean, I don't think he's going to fight Dimitri Bivol again either, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went in that direction as opposed to fighting David Benavidez. Or maybe he just said, hey, after fight John Ryder, I'm just going to fight, you know, some other kind of UK fighter, some other, you know, invisible mandatory challenger, whatever the case may be. So hopefully we get the fight that we deserve in super middleweight division. The two best fighters, because I felt if Caleb Plant beat David Benavidez, then he would have an argument for a rematch against Canelo. But if David Benavidez won, which he did, even though I scored at 114, but that's another story. The point is, it's to the point now where you can't avoid, you can't duck, you can't dodge David Benavidez any longer if you Caleb Plant. I mean, I'm sorry, if you Canelo. So if I was David Benavidez, you know, I understand that they might share the same fan base. You know, some of the Mexican fans might be fans of both of theirs. But if I was David Benavidez, I would make it obvious and transparent that I'm going after Canelo. I would call Canelo out. I would, to a certain degree, harass and stalk Canelo until I got the fight that I deserved. And hopefully, if he went after Canelo, maybe in a respectful way towards their fan base in terms of, you know, not making them choose sides, but saying, hey, I'm the #1 guy in terms of being the top contender at super middleweight, then I think it would make it in such a way that basically Canelo can't avoid David Benavidez any longer. And the thing that I often thought about, just imagine if, just say for example, Errol Spence Jr., Deontay Wilder, Devin Haney, any of these guys say, hey, you know what? I'm an African-American, I'm a black fighter. I'm not going to fight any other black or African-American fighters moving forward. I'm not going to fight another African-American or black fighter. So that's something that Canelo Alvarez is able to get away with that a lot of other fighters, especially black fighters, can't get away with. So that's it for this video. If you saw any value in this video, like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section, subscribe to the channel. Also, click the notification bell so you can be alerted anytime I post any new videos. Also, on Saturdays at 2 p.m., check out my live stream, Bayou Sports Talk, my sports show. Also, Sundays at 5 p.m., Catch myself and my brother, Jared O11 Green, on the Southern Baller Show. So check out both of those shows. Have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Peace and blessings.